Happy Wednesday, everybody. Max here with your fix of gaming news. Coming up, the Super Mario Galaxy movie might feature another familiar Nintendo character. The next Resident Evil movie is avoiding familiar characters entirely, and Replaced has been delayed yet again. Let's get into it. A new clip was posted yesterday to promote the Super Mario Galaxy movie, and while it's mostly made up of footage we've already seen in trailers, fans noticed one new detail. A character who looks, at least partially, a lot like Fox McCloud, aka Star Fox. Just 2 seconds into the new video, there's a shot of Mario, Luigi, Toad, Peach, and Yoshi, and to their left, another figure is partially in the frame, and if it's not Fox himself, it's somebody doing some pretty solid cosplay. You got the green jumpsuit with the white top and the pistol holster, which is nearly identical to Fox's usual look. There are some subtle differences. In the games, Fox usually has a jacket with their sleeves rolled up, while this looks like a vest of some sort. Most of the characters in the Mario movies do have slight changes from their video game counterparts, though. Now, aside from Super Smash Bros., the Mario and Star Fox universes have never had a crossover, aside from a few Easter eggs like an R-Wing in Super Mario RPG, so this would be a little surprising. It's entirely possible we see Nintendo making a cinematic universe of sorts at some point. After all, there is a Zelda movie currently in production, and Universal recently filed a copyright for something Donkey Kong related, but it feels premature to have non-Mario characters popping up in this second Mario movie, since that universe has a pretty deep bench to pull from before delving into crossover territory. So here's my theory. It's definitely a Star Fox reference, but it's not Star Fox wearing it. My guess is that Rosalina does a costume change at some point, similar to how Peach swapped her ball gown for racing gear in the first movie. Also, green and white is pretty close to Rosalina's turquoise color scheme, and the lighting in the shot is kind of funky to begin with, so maybe it's a turquoise and white spacesuit of some sort. Counterpoint, it could also be Star Fox in the Mario movie. That would be kind of cool. Whoever it is, we don't have to wait too long to find out. The Super Mario Galaxy movie hits theaters on April 1st. Elsewhere in the world of upcoming feature films based on beloved video games, Leon Kennedy might be in Resident Evil Requiem, but don't expect him to show up in the next Resident Evil movie. Speaking to Deadline, one of the film's producers, Oliver Bourbon, said, quote, "With Resident Evil, we've had an incredible journey with one of the most successful international IPs of more than $1 billion in box office for many years. Now we are creating something new. Not just a new story idea, but to allow a new generation to take the IP into their own hands and form something different." Discussing the project's current editing process in more detail, Bourbon said the movie is, quote, "far away from everything that is connected to Resident Evil only because Zach Cregger has his own style." Okay, so Bourbon's statement all feels grown in a lab to completely alienate fans of the game, but so did some of the decisions that Paul W.S. Anderson made over the course of his 6 Resident Evil movies, which cherry-picked characters and scenarios from the games and then took them in some completely different directions. Cregger seems to be taking the exact inverse approach to Anderson. Rather than taking familiar stuff from the foreground of Resident Evil and dropping it in a whole new universe, he's telling new stories with new characters against the established background of the Resident Evil games. Speaking about the project last year, Cregger said his movie would be, quote, "obedient to the lore of the games, but also a different story from anything shown in Capcom's franchise previously," adding, quote, "I'm not going to tell Leon's story because Leon's story is told in the games. Fans already have that." Cregger's feature filmography to date consists of Barbarian and Weapons, which are some of the best horror movies of the last decade. So while Resident Evil fans might be skeptical about this new guy coloring outside the lines, I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt. Resident Evil is slated to hit theaters on September 18th of this year, and in the meantime, we can take a trip to Raccoon City in Resident Evil Requiem, which is hitting consoles and PC on the 27th of this month, which is so soon. Can't wait for that one. Finally, the cinematic narrative cyberpunk pixel art platformer Replaced has been in the works for years, and after several delays, it was expected to finally drop on March 12th. However, based on demo feedback, it has been delayed yet again by about a month. Posting on Twitter, developer SadCat Studios explained, quote, "While this game is technically finished, reaching this final stretch has shown us that we need just a few more weeks to ensure the experience is exactly what you deserve. We want the version of Replaced you play on day one to be polished, stable, and true to the vision we've shared with you." A demo for Replace was released on Steam just last week, and while the vast majority of its user reviews are very positive, SadCat is clearly taking all the feedback to heart. So Replace will now hit Xbox Series and PC on April 14th. If you can't wait until then, at the very least, there is a demo on Steam. If you're looking for something fun to pass the time until then, make sure you join us next week for IGN FanFest 2026, a virtual event that will feature over 80 exclusive reveals across 2 days of live streams on February 25th and 26th, starting each day at 10 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, and 6 p.m. British time. And real quick before I go, do you have what it takes to host videos for IGN? We're looking for a few new voices and faces who love games, movies, pop culture, and more. If you have a strong on-camera presence, can read from a teleprompter, and know your way around the world of video games and entertainment, we want to hear from you. Head to audition.ign.com for more details. And with that, thank you for watching. As always, for everything gaming and entertainment, you're already in the right place. IGN. I'll see you next time.